Okay, welcome to the show, Inside the Mind's Eye. Glad you joined us. We've got a special guest today. It is Enes. And yeah, I want to dig into your story. I'd like to hear about what brought you into your current state of experience, your current state of being, and maybe talk a little bit about your website and the book that you've written. But yeah, I mean, I just, we could just free flow it and take it where it goes.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you. My name is Enes Trumić. I am from Bosnia and Herzegovina. Bosnia and Herzegovina is located in Southern Europe on the Balkan Peninsula. In 1992, ex-Yugoslavia broke apart and we got 6 small countries. Bosnia is one of these countries. And now let's go back to our subject, which is awareness, which is some meaningful conversation. Before everything, Adam, thank you for letting me be with you. I watched your channel and I saw that you are really focusing on the essence of life. There are many channels, they are just offering people what they want to hear, but you are really trying to give something which is essential and useful, regardless how people will react. So you are focused on quality, not on quantity, and I appreciate that because it's not easy, when we try to bring people the truth. So there will be no many ears ready to hear it, but that's okay because we are focused on quality and we want to make this world better, including ourselves. And this conversation that we are going to have will make us better, our viewers, and then this world, I know it's a little amount of impact that we're going to have, but still little by little, this world will become heaven. So we are slowly but surely, we are bringing heaven to earth. So, as I said, I said my name. My name means, Enes means friend. So I realized, the best thing that we can be to each other is to be a friend. You may have spouse, you may have wife or parents. If they are not your friends, it doesn't matter, And when we go through life, we realize, religion, gender, race, doesn't really matter. What matters is the quality of that particular individual. And I'm looking for those individuals, and they are my family. So Adam, you are my family, and your viewers are my family.
Great.
And how I came, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, that's great. Yeah, I appreciate your sentiments, and I'd like to hear your story. I've enjoyed engaging with you over the last couple months, so I'm really curious about what brought you into this understanding.
Suffering. So we have many ideas. People think they are looking for God. They are looking for some higher purpose of life. In reality, we are all running away from suffering because every organism doesn't want to suffer. And unless we understand what is our true motivation, why we tap into spirituality, we are not really awakened at all. So we need to really understand that suffering is one of the necessary requirements for organism to feel that evolutionary pressure and to realize I have to change something. Somehow that will be luck in unluckiness. I was unhappy from the beginning of my life. Since I remember my childhood, when I was a kid, I was so afraid. I was afraid of dark. I was shy. I had so many complexes regarding my appearance. And my mental state was really terrible. And what we don't realize, when you are suffering mentally, you are decreasing the energy flow through yourself. You're going to have less and less awareness, and you're going to become fully unaware. So our mind has certain capacity to load itself with all kinds of suppressed feelings. Once the threshold is crossed, you're going to have paranoia, you're going to have panic attacks and all kinds of stuff. That's what I had. But I'm 60 years old. At that time, when I had those panic attacks and all kinds of hallucinations, we didn't care. I would just cry as a kid. My parents would try to comfort me, saying, "Oh, everything's going to be fine." Even when you go to doctor at that time, unless you are really mad, crazy, obviously schizophrenic, they will diagnose you. Okay, you are really crazy. But if you have these little, what are today very huge diagnosis like panic attacks and anxiety, no one cared about it. But that impacted my life, and I was really unhappy. But at the same time, I was looking for something higher. But the reason, as I said in the beginning, it wasn't that I was looking for something higher, something supernatural. The reason was my suffering. I wasn't happy in my present state with my ordinary life. So then I was interested in fairy tales because that's something beautiful. There is always a happy ending. Then I was interested in science fiction movies, how you can be hero, how you can fight demons, all kinds of stuff. That was my world. And this is how spirituality starts. It begins with some interest in this some kind of supernatural stuff. So I read about telekinesis, I tried telekinesis, telepathy, astral projection, and more or less I didn't succeed in anything of that. But our mind is just, he's entertained with these things. But luckily, I was practitioner. And I was just looking for something practical because I was impatient. I didn't want to read books. When you read psychology books, they keep talking and talking, they don't say anything. And I was bored. I start to read and I see there is nothing, of substance. So I would, get rid of the book. But wherever I would find some kind technique, like I tried Kabbalah, and I tried this pentagram ritual, Kabbalistic cross. There are certain rituals, they're going to help you to come out of your body to experience astral projection. And I tried that too. I tried self-hypnosis. I tried all kinds of stuff. And as a consequence of this, I had some really good experience. I realized that lasted maybe a few minutes. I was sitting in the café, and suddenly my consciousness pulled in, and I felt separated from my body. I was still there, but I wasn't my body. I was witnessing my body. I was witnessing my mind, my memory, and the external world was like a movie, including my personality. So everything what I saw was just a movie, and I was the observer who has nothing to do with movie, or better to say, I was the screen that movie was playing on. Wow, all that drama that I went through was related to the movie. It wasn't related to me at all. And this maybe experience lasted maybe a few minutes. And suddenly I came back again on the surface, on my peripheral existence. And I became again, I was again in my mind, and all this drama was back, but the memory remained. Wow, there is something that most people have no clue about. People don't even realize they are part of the movie, and they took movie for only reality. And this is when this gave me motivation, and also gave me understanding there is really something else. So I kept looking. I went to Oriental teachings like yoga, like Taoism, and I went to Hare Krishna. I was a Hare Krishna monk for 1 year, and I was really strict because I'm practitioner, and I was impatient. I just want experience. I don't want just talking, believe, disbelieve, faith. I don't care about it. Give me experience, because I experience myself. This is possible to experience. The spirituality is not matter of believe or disbelieve. It's not matter of faith. All that belongs to mind. You are trapped in your own mental movie. So spirituality means you are what you are. And we should have some kind techniques, some kind methods to bring you into that state. And I was looking for those techniques. So Hare Krishna really helped me. Go ahead.
Before you go into the Hare Krishna, how old were you when you were sitting at this coffee shop and that happened?
Maybe 22.
Had you realized had you noticed that you were thinking up until that point? Like, were you aware that you had thoughts, or was that the first time you had some separation?
that state is like you don't need to think. Everything is in front of you. All your memory. My memory was so lucid. I could remember anything, not through clouds. Now, when I remember some movie, let's say I want to remember your face. No, I don't need to remember your face. I see your face. But let's say if I want to remember something which is in my memory, and I bring that picture, that image into my consciousness, it's clouded. I don't see details. I don't see the eye color. If, for example, we are talking about some person, but when you are behind all of this, your memory is presented to you as open on the table. You can remember anything. You don't need to think. So the thinking is so quick that there is no any path for thinking. Whatever is instantly, you are in your intelligence. So you are really extremely intelligent at that moment, and your memory is there. So when I experience that state, there is no thinking, because we are thinking because we cannot access this data, this material which is in our mind. But once you are behind that, everything is there.
Okay.
So there was no thinking. There was no thinking. There was no need for thoughts, because you are that intelligence. All the data, all that information, you are. But just to let you know, that wasn't enlightenment. I wasn't all knowing. I just knew myself. I knew my memory, and what was appearing through my senses, I was witnessing that. I didn't witness universe. I didn't witness. I didn't know the past, the future, nothing at all. I was just witnessing my present existence. So we need to distinguish. People think they are enlightened as soon as they experience something. So there are all kinds of experiences, but there are different stages and levels of enlightenment. You yourself had excellent experience, but that doesn't mean there's the final one.
Oh,
There are
no,
so
no,
many
no.
higher. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's there. These are all they're all different states.
Mm-hmm.
I'd share a little bit about it, but I'm still really curious. I kind of want to go through the timeline. So you're dealing with anxiety. You're dealing with feeling uncomfortable in your own body, in your own
Mm-hmm.
skin, growing up, panic attacks. You're sitting at a coffee shop. You have this
Profound experience.
this profound experience. And then, and it lasts about 5 minutes, and then you fall back into your lowercase self. You fall back into your character, and then you start exploring all these. You can
Different
you just
teachings.
yeah, okay. So you start exploring all the different teachings, and then you wind up at Hare Krishna.
Yep.
And you were you
And
not interested in any? Were you not aware of these philosophies or these teachings until that point? Like,
I tried all kinds of techniques, but nothing worked, because our mind is so restless and we are so fed up that our system is overloaded. And that if you try some kind of Buddhistic meditation, like vipassana meditation, that you focus on your breath, that's impossible for ordinary people. We cannot focus. We are so distracted. We cannot maintain our awareness. We need some power, something really what works. And what I found, repeating certain sound is the best for us. Because if you try all kinds of visualization, no, you cannot. We are not able to focus for a few seconds. So we need something powerful. And it seems that singing, when you sing and you are chanting, activates all kinds of biological mechanisms in us. This vagus nerve is activated when you sing or repeating mantra. You get more oxygen to your brain. You have so many benefits. And also your Kundalini, which is sexual energy, gets pulled up once you start to sing and you stretch your shoulders. So your sexual energy is moving from the lower part of the body, from genital area, moving toward the spine. So singing gets you involved completely in this activity. But if you try to close your eyes and try to focus on something, it doesn't work. So that's why dancing, singing, chanting, for me, it's the best meditation, and also can become dynamic meditation. You don't need to sit cross legs and try to focus. No, just involve yourself, inject yourself completely in singing, be just that, and you're going to feel different. And that's what I did for 1 year. I repeated Hare Krishna mantra You have to repeat loudly. You should repeat loudly. When you are repeating silently, you're going to lose focus. You're going to go to sleep and stuff like that. So I was repeating Hare Krishna mantra per 8 hours per day because I saw it's working. And I was just releasing my suppressed feelings. I was crying. I went to all kinds of different these sensations when you are purifying your mind. And in 1 year, I really achieved concentration. Finally, I felt universal love, because when you sing, you're going to open your heart chakra and you're going to feel love. You're going to feel united finally with yourself, and also little by little with others. And you start to love people. You start to love everyone else. And even in sex, you're going to experience love. And that's very important. It's easy to feel love, toward your cat or dog. But can you feel love toward humans who are also, maybe they give you stress? Or can you feel love as a man when you have intercourse? Can you love that person, that woman? So for us, it's very difficult. So anyway, Hare Krishna gave me those experiences of love and purified my mind at a certain point. And I tried this Chinese Taoism, which is related to Tantra, to sexual, these activities. And in the beginning, I couldn't do it because there are Qigong and some exercises. You have to visualize this sexual energy is going toward your spine. You have to do some contraction of your pelvic floor muscles. And I didn't have focus. I couldn't focus on anything. But Hare Krishna made a foundation. I removed lots of layers of my mind, which was just coming out, but nothing worked except this. And suddenly I was ready for these Taoistic exercises for this sexual energy. And I kept doing it. And finally, I learned how to have a sex without having an orgasm. That was so liberating, because we are afraid of women. Women are biologically stronger than us. And we are constantly focused, will I satisfy my partner or not? And we don't even know that we are afraid of women. There is a subconscious fear. Even women fear us. So unless you really become a lover, unless you really learn how to control your sexual energy, but not just to bring it into love, also to remain male, that you can be an animal. So this is what I learned from this Taoistic, through these Taoistic exercises. But I didn't know the eruption was coming. I felt something is happening in my mind. Some unwanted thoughts are appearing from somewhere. I feel some pressure in my heart, in my chest. I feel in my solar plexus, I feel pressure. And what was happening? I was sending too much sexual energy into my spine, and my chakras were ready to explode. And one morning, I woke up for some reason at 4 o'clock in the morning. I didn't know why. And I just looked around, okay, and I went to sleep again. And suddenly, when I closed my eyes, I lost consciousness. My body stiffened up, and I became an infinite nothingness that just kept expanding and expanding into infinity. It was a completely dark emptiness, devoid of anything. I was nothing. And I could only define that once I returned to my body. So when you are in that state, you are not existing anymore. During that experience itself, I did not exist. I experienced mental death. That's unbelievable. There is a state in this existence where there is no any consciousness. There is just nothingness. And we can become that nothingness. But it's a dark, total darkness, which just keeps expanding and expanding. I don't know how long that lasted, maybe a few seconds, maybe half a minute. But when I came back, I realized, wow, spirituality is not what I thought. Some hocus pocus healing and everything, ecstasy. Wow. And that experience was really shocking to me, and I got so afraid. But beside that experience, my chakras they erupted. And I could feel the lower chakras, 5 lower chakras, they keep running, they are circling, just left, just right, keep circling. And my perception changed. I couldn't see clearly anymore. I was constantly in some cloud. because my chakras kept ejecting those the mind contents. Our mind contents is located in our chakras. When they start to release this, it's like octopus when eject ink. You don't see properly. You cannot think anymore clearly. There is constant influx of some kind of thoughts which you have no clue about why they are coming and so on. But you, at the same time, you have to function. But it's very difficult because part of you has been taken away by this cloud, which is constantly seeping out into your consciousness. Wow! When I realized, my God, what I did to myself. And I went to bathroom to wash my face with cold water, and I could hear voice, you get crazy, you get crazy. And I started to panic. But then I realized if I panic, the game over. I'm going to go to mental hospital. If I start to panic, I'm going to scream. People will come and I will lose completely consciousness. I mean, not consciousness that I will faint, but I will use that little reason, that little rational thinking which I still had. But I was in chaos, and the voice was saying, you are crazy, you are crazy. And I just realized I will surrender. Whatever happens, happens. I will not fight this because I knew what happened. I opened this Pandora box, and now I have to face its contents. So that was the most difficult part of my life, this cleaning of mind. I couldn't read the book. I'm reading book, and I start to focus, and there are thoughts, hit yourself, slap yourself. So when you take a knife or you do something, there are constantly someone is telling you, stab yourself. When I want to cross the street, it was difficult to cross the street. I see from one direction, cars are coming. Okay, they are not coming. I turn to the other direction to check that, and I forgot already about the other direction. So I couldn't maintain any memory. What's going on? So, and I couldn't drive a car. So it was really, I lost everything. I was so excited. Finally, I'm moving up. Everything is beautiful. My concentration is good. Self-confidence is good. I became a lava, and suddenly I hit the bottom again. But I knew what happened, you know. I started this purification, this hell, the dark, how you call it, the dark night of the soul.
Well, it's the dark
definition
night
of dark night of the soul. There are many definitions, but I think this is the right definition. When you are transforming from self-unaware animal into self-aware human, you have to eject all these contents, all these things from out of yourself. At that time, you are functioning at a lower level, and that's really dark. Go ahead, Adam.
Oh no, I was just gonna. Yeah, I don't remember what I was gonna say. I could relate with what you were describing. You wake up and realize that nothing. You can't hold on to anything, and everything's really. You can't form like a cohesive understanding of what you're even doing from moment to moment. You're lost in the cloud. I like the way you described it. How this is your dark night of the soul period. How old were you during this phase, and how did you exist? Did you work at all, or could you do anything?
You know, I tried my best, and that was wartime in Bosnia from 1992 until 1995, and I had to go through these challenges also. I didn't participate as a soldier. I refused to do that. I found excuse that I belong to Hare Krishna, and we are prohibited to go to war. But in reality, I just realized, people are repeating the same story, the same conflicts all over again, and I didn't want to be part of it. If I had to be, I have to go fight to defend myself. But just to be part of this constant slaughter between different tribes, and we see them right now, they are going on many places on this planet. They are just repeating the same stuff. So, and I didn't want to be part of it because I don't want to lose my limbs and all kinds of stuff. So I refused to go. And they put me in jail for a while because of that. But at the same time, I am going through this all kinds of psychological crisis. But you accept it. And also when I tried to look for someone to help me out, what's going on with me. I knew what's going on, but you still need some support. It would be nice to talk to someone just to reinstate, to reinforce your idea that you are going to this phase of transformation. But you cannot, there was no one to talk to. Hare Krishna people would tell me, just repeat Hare Krishna mantra. Oh man, then if I repeat, then it becomes worse. When I focus, the things are becoming worse. I couldn't focus anymore. So I stayed away from all these practice, so-called spiritual practice, because this awareness and this purification, when it starts, you have to slow down now your development. You cannot just try to focus even more because you are bringing more awareness. Awareness will purify you. That's why concentration should not be developed 100%. Because if you are 100% focused, or let's say if I'm 100% focused right now, I would be fully enlightened because the awareness would be constantly present. But to release little by little awareness through exercises, through your daily life, it's beneficial. You're gonna purify your mind, but you will not be speeding up. You will not this huge. You have nice term in your Discord channel called the stream of consciousness. That's energy. The stream of consciousness is energy. So if this energy is increasing uncontrollably, what happens to many people, you're gonna be in big trouble. So that's why it's not good to focus. So anyway, I couldn't find help from anyone because no one knew what happened to me, and even if they knew, they want me put back in their cult or their dogma. Hare Krishna people tell me, go talk to Krishna, pray to Krishna. Muslim people would say, oh, you are possessed by jinns, you demons, and all kinds of stuff. So they're going to increase your problems. So it's very difficult to find someone who understands what's going on with you and to give you something simple, give you comfort, or by their own presence and tell you, okay, it's fine, I know what you are going through, but you're going to be okay, and help you out how to deal with all these crises. But if you go to religion in those states, if you go to a new age guru, if you go to some yoga guru, they can give you really a hard time because they're gonna make you unnatural. Now you have to accept whatever is going on in you. That's not Satan. When you hear voices telling you kill yourself or kill someone else, that doesn't come from Satan. It comes from your mind. But the religion will tell you, oh, you are possessed. And now you're going to start to worry and you're going to start to fight these voices instead to just accept them and let them go. So in those stages, it's very important. It's better to remain alone than to try at any cost to belong to certain tribe, a religious tribe, and then you're going to have even more problems. So anyway, when I ran into these problems, I was looking for help, and I found one yoga guru, one yoga master. He is still alive. He is famous, and I became his disciple.
Oh,
and
is this when you met Sri Rajneesh Osho Bhagwan?
No, that guru cannot help anyone.
Who is this?
This guru, his name is Paramhansa Maheshwarananda. He is a yoga guru. He's from India. He has many ashrams in India. He's now around 80 years old. So, and I was with him, and he really helped me. If I didn't have him when I was really in this huge crisis, I would lose trust. I wouldn't be able to go through. And he gave me assurance. Everything's going to be fine. You need someone when you are in those stages, just to talk to someone who is at higher level, but not someone who is belonging to some dogma. And he had to intervene few times through my dreams. He would come and intervene because I felt I had these chakras purification and I couldn't function. And I had to go to work because I kept working. I tried to have my normal life, but sometimes I cannot operate at all. And then he would come, he would put his hand on my chest, heart chakra, on my navel center, and I would calm down. When I wake up from the dream, from the astral experience, I feel, wow, I am blissful, peaceful, my perception is clean. until maybe a few hours later, I'm again in the mud. But at least when you are in very critical situation, it's good to have someone with good energy, someone who has this balanced frequency, which will help you to calm down. So it's very good to have someone. Okay, I stayed with my guru maybe almost 15 years.
Okay,
15. And
he was in
I saw him
Bosnia.
as a god. For me, he was a god. But little by little, I realized he's preaching Hinduism, and he created cult. And I saw the truth itself doesn't require Hinduism, doesn't require any hierarchy, doesn't require these Indian mantras. It requires presence. It requires some simple techniques. And I realized he's really spreading Hinduism. And I had to leave my guru. And I really loved him. Yeah, I had so strong connection with him, but my voice of reason was telling me, no, this is not pure truth. He mixed up with some stuff in it, and I just I want to be able to tell people what is the functional truth, not to tell them, hey, you have to go to Allah or to Jesus or to my guru. I want to tell them how their biological being is working, their physical body, their psychological side, how it is working. And we just need to understand these principles like science. Why we have to pack it into some mythology, into some clothing, and all kinds of this stuff. So, and I left my guru, but I was already, I evolved enough to be able to be on my own. And I left him because if I stayed in his cult, I would be suppressed. I wouldn't be able to keep evolving because I have to get rid of all these man-made concepts. But this guru was spreading also Hinduism, Hindu-made man-made concept. So, and I'm on my own now. And after 34 years, I can tell you that I took out lots of junk, lots of system junk, lots of cookies, lots of caches, all kinds of files, and that's unbelievable. And I'm changed, but I'm gonna keep evolving. And I call that transition from Homo animal, into Homo sapiens. We don't even realize we are not humans. And that's our biggest problem, that we reject what science is telling us, biology is telling us that we are animals. Specifically, we are primates. We evolved from earlier hominids in Africa. Biologically, there is nothing supernatural about us. We are one species among millions. And those spiritual so-called people, they've completely forgot they are animals. And when you see people, regardless what religion they belong to, what race they belong to, they are just different tribes of animals, different packs of animals, different herds of animals. And I understood my animal level. I accepted that level, and I transformed that level into human, not God, not something. I'm just becoming decent human being. And it's so beautiful because this animal is not a curse. That's good. If we needed that through our evolution. If we haven't been the biggest animal, we wouldn't survive. We would go extinct. Some other animals would take us over. So why not to accept that we are animals, that our mind is so limited, that our animal brain, the animal brain cannot comprehend almost anything. Now, if I tell you, close and open your fist, you can do it. But if I tell you just open one, or close and open one simultaneously, it becomes difficult. And now if we add extra one function, we wouldn't be able to do it all. And now this mind, this brain, which is so limited, it cannot perform one action, one activity, and stay focused on that activity for, let's say, 5 seconds, 10 seconds. And this brain knows about God. This brain knows about everything and doesn't listen to anyone. So if we understood that we are at the animal level and we have to keep evolving and that we are extremely limited, then we would listen to each other. And we would be able, when you have a conversation with your spouse and there is some issue, you could just say, wait a minute, my brain didn't comprehend fully what you just told me. Give a time my brain to process that sentence, what you just told me. No, we just react, and no, you don't know what. Wait a minute. Our brains are not functioning. We are not really able to operate in this. And what Neil deGrasse Tyson said, our mind is barely working. And why? Because we are still at animal level. And I said we are human animals. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I experience it. I experience my life as a form of active meditation. So what you just described, and I notice, I mean, it happened this morning. Melissa came downstairs. I try to relate to everything conceptually, and I try to bring it back to like my actual experience. So what you just said happened this morning. For me, it was, Melissa came downstairs. She says she's really anxious before she goes to work. And I said, okay, well, where's the anxiety appearing in your body? That was the first question I had. Like, can you localize it? Can you find where it is? And she immediately pushed back. That's not going to be helpful. What you're saying is harmful. And I was like, wait a second. I was like, it's just a starter for a conversation. Our tensions rose because of her energy entangling with mine. And I see it happening in real time. And there's this part of me that I now have access to, which is, it's never not here. It's nowhere. It's just the seeing, right? And I see all this going on, and I recognize like the character, Adam's animalistic instincts are now engaged in this conflict, this conceptual conflict with this person's energy versus my energy. And all that happened was it was seen, and I just went, oh, there's this line of thought, what she thinks she's trying to get from me or not get from me is not happening, and I'm not interested in dancing this dance, and it just dropped away. So like what you said about, let me focus on the sentence, understand what you're saying. It's very difficult to get that emotional fluidity, that emotional agility has been in my life. It's been difficult to generate this skill, basically.
Mm-hmm. But you see, I would do differently in that situation. You, for your point of view, you didn't feel that anxiety, and you were able to be analytical. So it's easy, when it's not under your skin, we can analyze anything. But if you are that one, you need comfort. You need someone who's gonna just say, "Hey, everything is going to be fine," because she probably knows also that. But you try to think we're gonna fix that. And it's not fixable because we have to have a fear. We have to have an anxiety. So that's normal. What I would tell her, baby, that's normal. Just accept it and move on. You succeeded already in many of those similar situations. Probably this one is going to be fine. So don't think that's something unusual. Everyone feels fear. And
Okay.
because you cannot solve the problem, even if she was focusing, okay, where this is coming from, that wouldn't help because this keeps coming. We have an ocean in us of this stuff. So, and the only way how we can maintain ourselves in those situations is if we have a prefrontal cortex functioning and keep us concentrated and grounded in the present. So when she feels that wave of certain emotion, if still part of her attention can be kept on her body and present, she would be fine. She would feel it. She would recognize it. She would see how the body is reacting. There are some biological sensations. Your hands sweat. Your throat gets locked. You cannot speak. But if part of your awareness is still free, able to remain free, you can monitor all of these, and with time, you can live with it. But if you think you're going to solve it and she's going to go happy now, no more anxiety, that's not possible.
So that is you're exactly right, and so I guess I'd like to ask you how, because that's what she's told me this. She said I just need someone to say it, like give me a hug and understand and be in the emotion with me. How do you balance that? How do you balance your natural, I guess my natural problem solving with my emotional, my ability to, I don't like performing. I don't like making myself do things because they're, you know what I mean? Like, how do you do that?
You see, that we have a consequences. Your way of thinking is based on your on ideas that you got from New Age, that you got from religion, also through your own experience. And now that situation was seen through those filters. But I can tell you, there are no good filters. No gurus is no guru. I don't see any guru who is really explaining this well. Religion, forget about religion. Religion has no clue about it. Everything is wrong. So psychology also. So for us in the 21st century, we have to change. We have to update all of this. So you realize yourself, you cannot get rid of anxiety. All those new age ideas that you're going to be happy, that you can heal yourself, doesn't work. Just look those people. They are just animals.
But
they have fear. Go ahead.
well, that the thing you're making me think through this, which I'm really liking this. This is fun for me.
Go ahead.
This morning I had anxiety, and I just was sharing with her what I did. Right?
Sorry. You had also anxiety, but you are trying to teach her how to get rid of her anxiety.
But the whole way I've been able to move through anxiety is by not trying to get rid of it. And it's so, like, when it happened this morning, like, nowadays these emotional states are only here. They only, like, arise within my consciousness for, I mean, barely any time before they disappear. But it used to be these states would stay with me for long stretches of time. And so, you know, when I noticed for myself this morning, you know, I was invited on to be like a speaker at some, like, clubhouse thing. And it was like I felt anxiety, and I pinpointed it in my body, and I allowed it to exist. And I realized my brain has already began to conceptualize an experience that hasn't happened. Basically, this whole thing started running through me. I don't, like you said, I don't know where it came from. It was conditioned through my practices, or I guess what I've learned through the other teachers I've worked with. I don't know, but it resolved itself very quickly.
Yep. Yeah. But we cannot, when these things are happening, we cannot fix them. We have to come into these things prepared. So obviously your lifestyle, your way, maybe you are maintaining your awareness. So that's why you were able to stay aware even in this situation. If she is not practicing awareness, if she is not really having good concentration, you cannot help her. So we cannot really get rid of these situations, but we can be better conditioned to deal with them. So now your brain, your psyche, your awareness, your reactions are different than hers. So you cannot analyze her based on you. For you, maybe you were able to overcome that. But if she doesn't practice awareness, if she is not grounded in the present, if she is carried by emotions, so when these emotions come, complete awareness, that little awareness, what she maintains through life is gone. But what you do in ordinary life, you are pretty aware. You are right now aware. Now, when a certain stress comes, yes, these emotions will rise. They're gonna appear, but you're gonna maintain part of awareness, and this will help you. But in her case, so we cannot help anyone. People have to help themselves, but we need to know medicine. So I know what helped me, how to become aware, how to purify myself, how to physically be better. So I can just people give medicine. So if they don't use it, go ahead.
Is this why teachers and students happen? Is because someone has to have interest. They have to approach you and say, what you're saying makes sense for this body mind. How can I? They're getting on your line of thought.
Like a computer, you have files. If you have if file contains something, you click on it, it will open. If this state of understanding what you and me have, just remember, she didn't have that awareness experience that you had. You had very profound awareness experience. You realize you are not your thoughts, you are not your ego, you are not Adam at all. And now when you're talking to Reed or someone else who didn't have that experience, they're going to still emphasize faith, beliefs, disbelief, and stuff like that. I'm not saying about Reed. Reed is a wonderful person.
Yeah. No, everybody
really,
does it.
You are lucky to have him because he's really contributing he is such a trying to be nice, and he's very intellectual. I really love Reed. He's really good. But I'm just saying, if people didn't experience something, there is no file in them which will give them this perception that we have. And now your perception is based on these files, and they don't have those files. So they have to decode what you are telling them, but they don't have a decoder inside themselves. And this is our subjectivity, that we are always judging people based on us. And that's that animal brain. It's not able to come out of itself and to understand these people are different. Why they think the way they think. And you cannot just teleport or transfer or download your thoughts in them unless there is prepared environment there. There are no files.
Yeah,
So that's why you were able to handle better this anxiety issue when you had this event, and maybe she couldn't. But doesn't mean we are now spiritual and we are in better shape. No, there are people who don't do anything, like officially spiritually, but they are much in better shape than me. So I don't want to discriminate now. Your wife is probably having some own lifestyle which helps her to be what she is. Otherwise, you wouldn't find each other. You are at similar level.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely. Yeah, I mean, it's. I guess what you're describing is it's making me think. Anything that any of my files, the files that are conditioned into my body mind. I don't know. Everything is rooted in experiential understanding and awareness. So it's not something I think can be conceptual. Like, I guess to describe it, I don't see anybody doing anything ever. Like, as I'm speaking and my hand is moving, I see all these things. Everything is just a happening. And that's my root level of understanding, which I don't think it was taught. It's just seen. I just see it. So it's like, how do I?
That's why I left my guru, because they keep these mind concepts. They don't tell people, hey, you have to wake up from the dream. You identify with the body and mind, and it's fine. We need body, we need mind, we need these emotions. As long as you are an animal, that's fine. But you just remember, you have to feed this good wolf in yourself. You know that story, an Indian story of two wolves, that in every person there are two wolves. One is good, one is evil.
Yeah, and the one that you feed gets bigger.
War.
Yeah.
So we as animals, we have to feed this good wolf. And little by little, our good qualities will overpower these negative qualities. And good quality means you're going to bring more awareness into your life. If you are more aware, you are more compassionate, you are more joyful, you let go more, and you are focused more, you are bringing more awareness. And this awareness will slowly get rid of good wolf too. And you're going to just become more and more aware. And you're going to realize, I don't need good wolf anymore. So the good wolf will be transformed. First, the evil wolf has to be transformed into good one. So our lower instincts have to be transformed into better one. And those instincts will help us to get rid of all instincts completely.
Yeah,
so that's why we cannot tell people, we are just awareness. No, you are Adam. You exist in many layers. So we need to integrate all these layers, and they all need to function. And I love when you talk to Reed, and Reed was telling you we need to plan, we need to think, and you said I'm more spontaneous. Yes, but thinking is also controlling your awareness. When you think and plan, now your awareness is focused on your narrative. You are talking to yourself. So I'm going to do this. I have to do that. And there are thoughts coming. Some are sporadic thoughts, but you ignore them. So you are maintaining your awareness on your thoughts. So that's also conscious thinking. So, and Reed was right. We have to think, because we are thinking all the time. So unless we think consciously, we're going to think unconsciously. We're going to be on autopilot. That's why don't be afraid, if I may say, to think. Thinking is must. We are always thinking. That feature is only human. That it's our prefrontal cortex, which is constantly running these programs of thinking and talking. And these gurus are telling you this talk is bad, ego. No, talking is our feature. Otherwise, if you don't talk, you wouldn't be able to create Adam. Without talking constantly, there is no someone who is speaker. So the speaker of the house, like in the White House, I'm joking. The speaker in the Adam house is Adam. Your mind is constantly speaking, and he's going to keep speaking even when you get enlightened. And that's what will keep us human again. So if we stop thinking, you don't exist anymore. And how are you going to function? So thinking is needed. Thinking is one layer which is in us. And once you are not identified with this thinking process, still this thinking will remain, but you're going to think consciously, and you're going to think in bliss, in peace. So thinking was never a problem. Thoughts were never a problem. Unconsciousness was problem, and unconsciousness comes from our animal state. We are animals. We are tense. We are angry, we are this, because we are operating, we are converting awareness, which is bliss and love, into these animal traits. And it's normal, because we are at that evolutionary stage. And when thinking is trapped in animal, then thinking is destructive. And now an animal thinks, oh, this thinking makes me sick, makes me bad. In reality, your emotional state makes you miserable. If you change your energy, if you from self-unawareness become self-aware, your thinking will continue to exist, but now it will give you bliss. And you're going to be so creative in your thinking. You're going to have memory. You're going to remember, I'm going to do this. I'm going to calculate that. So thinking is beautiful. So just for people, for our viewers to remember, your thoughts are not problem. Problem is your emotional state, which is based on your evolutionary stage as animal. So if you give a dog our processing, our thinking, the dog will be like us. There is no difference between us and animals regarding emotions. There is none. So, and people think, oh, because I think, no, you are thinking animal. And if you are thinking unconsciously, you are becoming a rational animal. If you think consciously, you're going to see your thoughts. You're going to be able to put these thoughts, to put them wherever you want. And you're going to have understanding how these thoughts are forming. And you will know which thoughts are based on your imagination, on your faith or beliefs, and which are based on objective reality. And now you're going to be able to juggle these thoughts. Why? You are only able when you have this a little more awareness. But you can't have awareness when you are an animal. So an animal has to come out of its unconsciousness and start to live consciously in daily life. And that's only what we need. We don't need a religion. We don't need to belong somewhere. We need more awareness in the daily life. And because that's difficult to achieve, we need some technique which will help us to penetrate, to step through these layers of self-unawareness and bring our attention to our senses, into our body, into this present moment. And this is how an animal becomes human, while living consciously, thinking consciously, and living consciously. So thinking was always our help. That's the only what makes the difference between us and animals. Without thinking, without thoughts, we wouldn't exist. You agree with that? You would be just awareness which has no identity. You would be just like a baby. You open your eyes, you look around. You feel hunger, you would instinctively look for food like any other animal. But we as humans, we're able to think. So an animal just responds to these different, activities in different urges. But you have a feeling, you have an urge to eat, but thinking, oh, should I eat? Should I not eat? And now Adam is there. Adam ate, Adam did not eat. And this is how Adam is existing, as long as you think. If you don't think, you don't exist. And if you don't exist, how are you going to keep evolving? So thinking is beautiful, and thinking just need to be more conscious. That's all. So what do you think? Consciously or unconsciously?
Okay. I have a lot of thoughts about that. One of the things that came up was I'm pretty sure that animals I'm thinking about my dogs. I think they can think a little bit because they've been trained to not pee on the floor all the time when they have to pee. They don't instantly start peeing. Now they'll go to the door. And so there's like, it's almost like there's, I guess the thing that I really wanted to talk to you about, because I also really do have to pee. I'm going to go pee real quick. But when I get back,
Go ahead.
I want to ask you about like the magic of like, once we learn how to think, once we learn what we're actually interested in, when I learn about the character of Adam, and I learn about what Adam would like to experience, and I learn about Adam's preferences and my natural drives, when I understand myself significantly enough, it seems that we have the ability as humans to orient our thinking in a way that will help us create our lives based on your own preferences and interests. So let me pee real quick. I'll be right back. I want to know your thoughts about that.
Hey, I'm gonna keep talking to our viewers.
Yeah, you can, because I can hear you.
Okay. Thank you. So, my wonderful friends, just remember to come out of our present state. We're gonna need some practical things, just to believe or disbelieve and to hope doesn't really help. We want experience. We want something, we want significant change. We want to be different. And I can tell you that's possible. I was at the bottom of human existence. My intellect, my concentration, everything was in ruin. So I couldn't focus on anything. I could feel anything. So only when I was drunk, I could relax. I could talk to women. Otherwise, I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel compassion. I didn't feel love. So when I get drunk, I would cry. I would break glasses with my hands because I was violent, because I had so many suppressed feelings. And these stimulants, like alcohol, I didn't try drugs. There was no need for that because I realized that's too much. But alcohol helped me to deal with life. But little by little, I became drunk of life itself. So you don't need any stimuli, you don't need anything artificial to become happy, to find the purpose of life, to be joyful, to feel free. Those are all obstacles. They are preventing us to achieve some physical and mental state, good state. So don't try to find shortcuts because there is no free lunch in this universe. So we really need to understand. We have to start from the scratch, understand how things are working, what makes me miserable, and that what makes you miserable is in you inside. And now you need to know how to take it out. And little by little, you're going to start to transform, and you're going to realize, wow, life is so beautiful. And I can tell you that I have a hard time to control my joy. It's so difficult. I'm so joyful, and this joy keeps increasing. So welcome back, Adam.
That was beautiful. That was great,
back, my friend.
Yeah, I feel the same way. It's sometimes I get sad about how joyful I feel, if that's weird to say. It's you
become sad how you feel joyful.
Yeah, because it's like, first of all, I feel like it's like I wish I could transfer it like to Melissa and my son. I want them to feel the way I want them to feel the potential of life, but there's people that I know in my lives who can't right now for some reason. And it makes me kind of sad because it feels like it's like just, I'm the only one that gets to, it just doesn't feel fair.
But you see, it's very difficult to transform from self-unawareness into awareness. Somehow you got lucky and you had some kind of predispositions. So there is an accident. So whatever happened to you, there was a reason for it. Now, Eckhart Tolle, Krishnamurti, and all these New Age gurus, they don't really understand how these things are working. And they don't understand what happened to them and why it happened. But in your case, that's fully explainable, like anyone else's case. But what we can do, we can just be an example what awareness means. So But we cannot neglect our body. Now you should sit a little straight. So you are curved, your back could be hinged. So how your back looks like? No, you are in good condition. I saw you driving skateboard, and you were falling so skillfully.
That's
Like
if there's
just
one thing,
like huh?
if there's one thing I've gotten really good at, it's failing and falling. I've gotten really good at messing up.
You have a really good physical condition, and of course you have also mental condition. So anyway, we cannot force anyone to evolve.
No,
So
well,
if
what
you
what I was saying was like as I've continued to grow in this way of being, it's created this deep well of sensitivity in the sense that like if I find out that a friend of mine passed away or somebody, I feel the suffering. Like if I can't really look at images of the war going on near you, you know, I can't, those things like really I feel. So with the joy comes this immense sadness as well, with the suffering for all of us, and the fact that I can't do anything about it.
Is it temporary? You don't dwell in those states. You don't
No.
dwell in those thoughts.
But it's the same thing with the joy. Like we use the word joy. If someone listening right now is going to have their idea of what that joy is. Mm-hmm. But the happiness, the joy, the excitement, these things just blink in and out of existence, just like the deep pain and the fear and the uncertainty of people that are in experiencing pain. There's a base level state of contentment and awareness and enamorment with the whole thing. It's just this background awareness of enamorment with existence itself. I think that's what I meant when I said joy, is like the fact that this dream we're living in is so miraculous, is always there.
But just to remember, this what they call dream, this is reality. Existence has many layers. And this is this confusion that we have regarding spirituality. People are confused. They neglect this physical level. This physical level is precious. There is no place in existence that we can keep evolving except this one. This is the only place when we are able to maintain our awareness. In your dreams, let me ask you, you are aware decently, I see, and you know that. Tell me in your dreams, are you fully aware or you are still identified with your dreams?
Well, I mean, do
you remember last night, what did you dream about?
Yes.
You remember yeah. So have you been aware in that dream? Did you know that you are dreaming?
No.
You see all other realms. We will not talk about lower realms when there is no awareness. So if we are talking about plants, animals, plants, we are getting into deeper unawareness. So if you are going into matter is fully unaware. So these neutron stars, they are so condensed, but they are still life. Everything is a life. And life, this universal life, is expressing through everything. But the awareness starts only at human level. If those humans are practicing awareness, and some people they can become aware by themselves without any practice, because the lifestyle helps them. But in reality, the only awareness can be practiced in human form. All other creatures, they cannot practice awareness. They are just an unaware expression of life. Life in them cannot be aware of itself. Now, in human, we can be aware. But to maintain awareness, you need stable conditions. You cannot be aware in your dreams because you are not in your house. You are not surrounded maybe with your family. And your brain doesn't have enough data to create Adam and to create understanding what's going on. So our brain is so limited. That's why creation has this physical realm. I don't know who created this. Life definitely created this level in order for us to practice awareness. And life, which is universal, which is expressing itself through everything, can start to become aware of itself only in human forms. But even human brain is not capable to be aware of itself in dream world. Or when we die, when we move into astral worlds, we will be completely unaware. So the only place where we can practice awareness is here. And it's difficult. that most people are unaware. And now we have new age gurus, we have religious people who are telling us there is some better place. There is no better place than this one. In any place where you go, the mind will keep manifesting itself and you will not be able to practice awareness. Only here, look at us. We are sitting more maybe than an hour. And look, everything is stable. And your brain is processing what's going on. And now you can be aware. But if we were in dream having this conversation, it wouldn't last so long. It would be maybe a few minutes. Then your microphone will break down. Then who knows what will happen? And brain gets confused completely. For the brain to become aware of itself needs stable conditions, and only physical level can give that to brain. And now we have new age gurus who are telling us this is a dream. This is a valuable dream. And people think they neglect this physical. Your body, physical body is so stable, and you cannot affect this physical realm with your thoughts and feelings. And that's beautiful. But we have unaware people, self-unaware animals, like Joe Dispenza and all others, who are telling you, you can, with your thoughts and your feelings, you can manifest your own reality. No, objective reality cannot be affected by mental state. And that's beautiful, because if you could, we would make a mess of this world with our mind. And the evidence for that is when you go to sleep, you are in your mind world and you keep manifesting all kinds of dreams, and it's chaos. And just imagine this paradox. These people, they want to be able to manifest with their minds here, but you're going to mess up this level too, this realm too. But reality doesn't care. Regardless what they want, they cannot. And I'm happy for that. So when I wake up in the morning and suddenly I'm in my room, I'm in my body, and my brain kicks in fully. Who am I? What I have to do? But until that point, maybe I was confused because I wasn't in my room and my brain was missing this data to create Enes, to create what is the purpose of my life. So what I'm trying to say, this physical realm is the only dimension where we can remain focused and practice our awareness. Without physical dimension, we cannot work on ourselves. Unfortunately, they gave different impression. They told us this is some transitionary, this is unimportant. No, this is the most important level. And we need to really embrace this physical, and especially what science helped us, that we have time now for ourselves, that we can tap into knowledge. For, let's say, we are talking now. Without these technologies, you would be in your cave or your village, I would be in mine. We wouldn't know anything about anything. So for life itself to keep evolving needs lots of data, needs lots of experience from other people. Because just to be aware doesn't mean you are knowledgeable. You were talking to Reed once also, that was topic. So awareness is not enough. Awareness needs interactions, needs events, needs experiences for awareness to start to create knowledge. If you have a light, and light is just shines on something empty, nothing will be there. Light is there, but it is nothing. Light will remain ignorant. But if in light there are things happening, now this light, which is awareness, will start to understand what's going on. And this is how knowledge starts to develop. So we have beautiful now this dimension that we are right now in, and your viewers too. And we have to really try to be aware as much as we can while we are awakened. And if you will become awakened in the physical, you're going to slowly become more aware in your dreams. But it's going to be more difficult because the brain is facing unstable conditions in your dreams. But unless you are aware here, you can never be aware in your dreams and after you die. Because this is where awareness can be decreased or increased. And I love this physical. And this is so precious.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Did I make you sleep? Go to sleep.
No. I was going along with what you were saying, and when you're talking, thoughts will pop up and then they'll go away, and then they'll pop up and then go away. but yeah, I just, yeah, the project of your life, what you're describing, the project is here and now, and there's this physical, I mean, the way you just described it is this plane of existence that others would refer to as the dream of your life, which I think I kind of referred to it as, is your actual life. We're awake, we're present, we're engaged. There's an order and a cohesiveness to it. And this is where the work is. This is where the growth is. It's in our lives. And that rang very true, because not only true, but practical.
It's a reality. It's
Yeah.
a reality. You see, now you are able to see your thoughts appearing and disappearing, but don't try to maintain that state, because then you are forcing yourself and you're gonna not be fully functional. If that state remains by itself while you are fully engaged in daily activity, fine. If not, fine again. So because we can, that's what happened to many, not you, you are different. But there are people who divide their minds. And now, like Neil Donald Walsh, he wrote the book Conversation with God. I think it's in 3 parts.
Yeah.
And that man heard voice, what I heard, what you heard. And suddenly he thought, maybe someone is talking to me. And of course, he wasn't happy to some lower being. God maybe is talking to me. And now, this voice, he was listening. And one part of his mind started to listen, and the other was talking. So when you emphasize these states, then they become you divide your brain. So the true awakening is when you are fully present without trying to maintain witness. So you move your hand, you are your hand. You cannot just say move, because when I had experience of this dark night of the soul, I move hand, but I feel separated. Hand is moving by itself. Why? Because my awareness wasn't fully integrated in my physical body. So what I would do in your place, or in our viewers who are trying to observe, don't observe. Be fully engaged. Once you are fully engaged, you're going to become more and more present. And when you move your hands, you are moving your hands. Just remember, your awareness is moving this. You cannot be, I'm awareness and this is moving. But once you have Kundalini awakening and sexual energy, which is Kundalini, goes in higher dimensions, now you're going to become the screen. And now you're going to be separated. But as long as you are in your mind and you are trying to witness, you are just dividing your mind. So it's better just be fully engaged. Whatever you do, be yourself, because we are this body. We are this body. I'm not separated from this body. If you they're talking about duality and Advaita, when you are one with everything. So why am I not one with my body? That's how I should start. Let me be one with myself, my ego, and everything, just be one with that. So if we are fully engaged in our lower layers of existence, more awareness will come, and then we're going to slowly create certain environment in our psyche and body. Then the higher dimensions will be able also to be accessible for us. But first, we have to be aware fully. When I touch my hands, feel it, and I feel joy. I feel warmth in my hands, and I am my hands. So when you have sex, you become one with that moment. You are your body. And it's so beautiful. And the time stops. So all these divisions, oh, this is dream. No, this is not dream. This is reality. One layer of reality. And you need this physical reality to keep evolving. And they keep separating and dismissing this reality, which is necessary for us to keep evolving. So there are many layers of existence. They are all real. Nothing is illusion.
Well, I think what happens is that I get into riffs with Reed about this is because I see very clearly the mind attempting to conceptualize what it is that's actually happening that isn't what's happening. Like the mind, my mind specifically, I'll speak for myself, can and will carry stories about what this character is, who you are, what Reed is, what I'm supposed to do each day. And when you were speaking to earlier about understanding this and becoming aware of thought, not discarding thought, but working with thought and creating a thought life for yourself. taking into account reality as it is and saying, you know what, this is who I am, this is how I am, this is what I am and what I do. And then setting that intention or setting that sail, because it really does feel like life is carrying, and there's this dual, non-dual, it's waving, it's going in and out. So it's a relationship with, it seems like our individual bodies, our individual experiences are in relationship with the entire order or structure of the universe itself. So there's some level of an alignment that can occur with thought, with your thought, with my thought. We all have our own preferences to seemingly co-create a life worth experiencing. Because and this is Bruce Lee, but I kind of agree to it, because what we're talking about is the game of life. But he says, all knowledge is ultimately self-knowledge. And I'm always going to be dealing with this mind and this body, like this thing that's always seemingly present when I'm in reality. So get to know it, make friend with it, understand how it works, and then figure out what you want to do with it.
But to understand that our thoughts, our feelings, they are expression of life energy. So life is just one. So Einstein said, he was talking about unified field theory, that all fundamental forces and particles in the universe, they are different manifestations of the single underlying field. So this field, you can call it Brahman, you can call it God, you can call it cosmic consciousness or whatever. But definitely everything is an expression of life. So our thoughts and feelings cannot be dismissed, cannot be destroyed, can be only transformed. So why people keep saying this is illusion, this is matrix, we are trapped? This is reality. So this is reality. This is made of something. And that something cannot be destroyed or created. Go ahead.
Well, I think what people are saying is our concepts about it are illusion. And I think, because I experienced this for a lot of years of thinking I knew who I was, and the things I thought I knew about myself were harming me. I was actively in states of pain and depression and anxiety and despair because I thought I knew what the world was or who I was or what my family members were. So there's a level of, there's a dreamlike quality to the illusion that we drape over reality in an attempt to keep ourselves safe and secure that does need to be examined so it can be discarded.
You see, we can have a different interpretation of different events, different conclusions, assumptions. Yes, they could be wrong. They are not based in objective reality. That's why we need scientific approach to life, to be objective and so. But your fear is not an illusion. It's not just created by your mind, and you can get rid of it. That's an energy animals have, plants have. Then when you feel that it's so powerful, so our emotions are real. They are part of existence. Yes, this is peripheral existence. This is not the deeper existence, which is containing consciousness, love, bliss, but they are real. So, and the same fear, the same anger needs to be transformed into better state, into better frequency. So while dismissing and telling people, oh, your mind, everything is in your head, no, all these energies are real. And we need to know how we need to learn, we need to understand, first of all, why they're expressing themselves in this form. So we know why, because we are animals and we have to have these instincts. Now, is any way that I can transform these urges, these instincts, this tension into something else? Yes. If I get relaxed, if I surrender, if I activate parasympathetic nervous system, so I have to relax. How am I going to relax? I have to be aware of my body because my body is tense. Let me come into present. And this is how you start to transform lower level of existence, lower, into higher. But they are all real. And you cannot tell someone who is operating on certain level that's an illusion. Only you are like Eckhart Tolle, sitting in the presence. You are located in the presence, in consciousness, and you are telling people, that's just your ego. No, these people are trapped in the animal state. And there is so many different layers of this there are so many devices which are transforming, like muffler on car. When you turn on the engine without muffler, the noise of engine will be so strong. But when you attach muffler to it, the sound will be reduced. Why? Because the muffler itself has many barriers, doesn't stop this airflow, this exhaust fume coming out, but it's manipulate this fume, this exhaust, and then the noise become taken away by these barriers. So what happens to our life, to our presence, while going through these chakras? There are different layers, different transformation devices. And once they came out and we are where we are, we don't feel presence. We become an animal. We don't feel joy. We don't feel love. And we are tense. Why? Because there are different barriers created in our energy body, which are meant to transform this pure consciousness into something lower. And that's normal. We had to have this through our evolution. Animals have, we have, and you cannot just take this magic wand, or what you call, and just to say, okay, go, and now you're going to be fine. No, you will not be fine. You have to examine your muffler, all these different devices that you have in your energy body. You have to learn how to remove barrier by barrier. If you rush, you're going to hurt yourself because you are not adapted to such a strong sound of awareness. So it's everything is real. Whatever we see is real. And if people think they are trapped in some kind illusion here, they are wrong. They have a wrong interpretation of this subjective reality. And once you have knowledge how this subjective reality is working, how your psyche is working, how your ego is working, how you are processing different data, how your brain is processing, and then you find people who are able to come out of it. Now you're going to learn how objective reality is working, and now you're going to be master of objective reality. But you have to have knowledge. Just believing and disbelieving will not change anything. You're going to be at a deeper sleep day by day. So thoughts come from recorded material inside the mind. They mostly come in the form of images, because the largest part of the material inside the mind is visual. Intellect is the one that never stops talking inside us. Just remember, guys, an intellect is the device, it's feature of only humans. Yes, Adam is right. Animals are also having beginning of this intellect, especially chimpanzees. They have also some thoughts appearing, but not in the amount of our brain. So an intellect is a blessing for every creature, and only we as humans have this intellect. So animals have almost none of the talker. Why? Because you have to have thinking process for talker to appear. For a talker to exist, there must be a speaker. So this talking in our head has to be speaker. The speaker can present itself in the first person, singular or plural. In the second person, singular or plural, or in any other pronoun. This speaker can take any identity, an alien, an angel, a god, Satan, or inner guru, and gut feeling, and so on. Of course, the speaker doesn't actually exist, and is product of intellect, because this is intellect who is talking, and the speaker who appears in different forms, maybe God is talking to you, it's still your intellect. So the speaker does not actually exist, and it is a product of our intellect, whose function is to always talk. Just for example, the heart always beats. So all these confusion about mind and thoughts and talking and the ego, this is all normal. But we are just trapped in animal level of existence. Once you become more human and more aware, all these talking and the ego will become different. You don't need to bark. We are barking on the wrong tree. I see new age gurus these religious gurus, they are just barking on our thoughts, on our talk, on our ego. No, leave them alone. We as humans, we need them. That's what makes us humans. No other animal has this. But help me to release my animal tension. First of all, we need to recognize that we are animals. And once we recognize that we are animals, living unconsciously, compulsively, like any other animal, regardless of our intellect, because this intellect becomes a servant of these animal traits. So unless we start releasing this tension, which is creating these instincts, we're going to remain animal. And we're going to fight thoughts and the ego, while you just need to come out of that room that you are in. You need to bring just more light, more awareness into yourself. And suddenly your ego will become more healthier. You become more compassionate. You will start to understand things. You're going to hold back your horses. You will not just jump like you had when your wife jumped on you just when you mentioned something. So we just need to change our emotional state. We are in the same emotional state like any other animal. And this state can be changed through awareness. And awareness is very difficult to maintain. It's only we are able to maintain it on physical level while we are awakened. And for that, we need some practice. So I have some simple practice. Whoever wants to try can join me and to learn, how to enable this flow of the stream of consciousness, what you are saying, or stream of concentration. How to activate that.
I wanted to ask you about that because after when you came on the show the first time, all these people showed up that I'd never seen before in the comments talking about how much you'd helped them and how great you are. And where did these people come from? Where'd they come from? And what did you do?
But that's from my country. Those people are my practitioners. So I don't call them students or anything. We are just practitioners. We are friends. And they realized that this is what helped me. And you mentioned Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee said, absorb what is useful, discard what is not, and add what is your own. And that's my principle since I left my guru. And I realized, no, man, I cannot limit myself to one particular ideas, one particular system, because everything is limited. In order for me to really progress, I have to grab whatever I can. And still, there will be question how far I can go. So no one has a copyright on truth. Everyone is just at the beginning. So we don't know what to eat still. We are struggling about physical things to make up our mind, how things are working, let alone about dreams, let alone about thoughts and consciousness and stuff. That's why we cannot rely on any particular path. We need to absorb whatever is useful, reject what is not, regardless who is telling you that. God, guru, I don't care. And if that was a real God, he would not be concerned that you reject what is not useful to you. He would be happy. You as a father, would you be concerned if your child says, "Hey, father, I don't like this food. It's good for you, but not for me"? You would say, "No, my son. Yeah, don't eat it." But we have these gurus who are imposing themselves and their path. You have these religions who are imposing themselves as only path. And then they say, you're going to go against God, you're going to go against some kind. So in reality, true self-aware person will insist that you remain an individual. And you don't attach to yourself to anything except truth and functionality and practicality. In all circumstances, just look for optimization. So, but that's very difficult to find. Now, I realized that, and I found what really optimized me, and this what optimized me really is helping other people, and I still keep updating my methods, and I'm still learning. So I'm not, I don't have any system, but I have certain principles, certain lifestyle, which can really help people. First of all, to ground them in this regular life. We have to become first a rational animal. We are irrational animals. We are talking about angels. We are talking about higher beings. Come on, man, you are worse than animal. Look at what we do to ourselves on this planet. And we are thinking we are chosen one. You are chosen one for what? You are nothing. You are don't understanding your own family is against you. You don't talk to your own brother. Your country is in ruin. We are going to extinct if we continue like this. And we think we are special and God is watching after us. We are praying to God. No one is listening. We are animals. If a lion, if why God wouldn't listen to lion? Why wouldn't listen to ants? Those also creatures working hard, doing their roles. God is more merciful to them if we want to be, if we want to accept there is God. But in reality, there is no personal God. No one, there is no personal relationship to anyone in this universe because this personal relationship comes from our thinking and our ego. And once you realize the ego is just simulation, it is just a tool given to you to operate as an individual, you realize there is no one outside. There is just one life, and everyone is treated equally. And it's up to you how much you evolve as an individual. If you are evolving, you're going to be happier because you are moving to higher states of life. If you are not evolving and you are becoming more unaware, you are going into deeper suffering, deeper into animal states. So it's really all about practice. And we really need to take care that we optimize this life, this piece of life. You are piece of life. And you see, this life wants you to optimize. That's why you follow reason. That you could find comfort into some herd. You could become Christian. You could go and you would feel good like any other animal, like sheep. They come together. It's very good. We are just moving, eat, sleep, and life is passing by. But your reason is telling you your life wants you to keep evolving, doesn't want you to remain an animal. And you accepted it. The call of life, which wants you to optimize to higher version of human. But we have to understand this animal state is okay. It's sometimes very useful. You see, you are a powerful guy. And if you have to defend your family, why not to be an animal? You have to fight. So now this good wolf has to be there. And we have to be able to activate that good wolf whenever is needed. But you have these gurus who are dismissing that part of us and telling you that's wrong. No, it's not wrong. All layers are good. But we just need to bring more awareness into all of them. More awareness in politics, more awareness in sex, more awareness in diet. So as you are evolving and more awareness, more life is coming into you, your life becomes more optimized on every level. And that's all what we need to do. Just attune ourselves with evolution of life. And life wants us to evolve as an individual and also as a species.
Well, that's great. Well, I really enjoyed this conversation. If somebody wanted to become I don't like using this word or how to phrase this. I know whenever I listen to shows like this, and can people connect with you? Like, if they wanted to talk to you more, is there a way for them to, because I was on your website earlier. How would you like to best talk with people if people are interested in continuing the conversation?
If someone wants to enjoy my cult, I'm joking.
Well, I mean, it's pretty amazing. I mean, I was astounded. It was like all these people was saying how helpful, and I was just like, there's something there, and if I feel lucky that we met each other, or I don't know how we met each other, but we now know each other, so I can call you and we can talk whenever we want. So I was just, would you be open to other people reaching out as well? That's what I wanted to ask.
And not only that, because I offer some services on my website, and if they use ITME code, which stands for Inside the Mind's Eye, they're going to get a discount. So I give consultations. I give Sunday, Sunday sessions. When people come, we have a together meditation meeting, and I have QA, question and answers.
Oh, cool.
And we have good energy. So it's very, really important. We are so confused. People don't know what to do. They are looking for help, and they are really honest. They want to work. They are not lazy. They would go to Tibet. They would go to India. They would go everywhere just to help themselves. But when they go to India, they face some overweighted guru, and now he's telling them, "Oh, you don't need to do anything. You are already enlightened. Just relax. You are trying too much. You are putting too much effort." And now people get confused. They won't practice. They want to do something because I'm dealing with people who are disciplined, who wants to become disciplined. I'm not just talking. So now we are talking because we have no other option. But if you come to visit me, we would go do something. We will do exercises, and probably, if I come to visit you, we would do some kind of activities.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
this is how we know what awareness is. We know what is needed just to be here. But in order to do that, we have to be active. Body needs movement. Body needs good breathing exercises. So all kinds of stuff. So in my situation, I'm all about practice. That's why I created this evolutionary transformative practice. So when people come join me, or when they talk to me, I'm going to introduce them to these simple principles. You know how to be here and now. Give them simple techniques like the vowels of the English alphabet, A, I, O, U, U, O, I, A. You just repeat. Inhale, take a deep breath through your nose, and A, I, O, U, U, O, I, A, I, O, U, U, O, I, A, I, O, U, U, O, I, A, and then again. Yeah, so I am staying away from any mantras. And this is how you bring attention. And if your wife would join me, you would see the changes. So now we cannot help anyone. They have to sow some seeds in order for their body and psyche to experience changes. They have to change their lifestyle. What is the definition of insanity? Keep doing all over again the same thing and accept different results. So in my case, I'm not telling people to change. I'm just telling them, come join me. Or you don't need to join me. You can find in my free book there are exercises. So you can mention there is a free book on my website. People can download, your viewers can download, and there is practical part in that book. So they don't need to contact me. They don't need to come to practice with me, because I gave for free, because we are in big trouble, Adam. You know that. We may go extinct.
Yeah, it's important.
And people humans don't understand. If we lose human form, if we are not able to reincarnate again, how are we going to continue our evolution? We're going to remain trapped in the astral dimensions, but we need physical human body. So that's why we need to optimize our human existence, optimize ourselves physically and mentally, optimize our environment, take care of every person on this planet, because you don't know where you're gonna be born again. You could be born in Africa, you could be born on Arctic. So that's why we have to see every person as a part of our family. And that's why I gave this book for free. Who cares about money? We just need little, these material things to maintain this material existence. But the true happiness is coming from inside. And this flow of happiness in this life, which is increasing, wants to enjoy and wants to find friends. As you said, you felt sad. Why people are not self-aware? When there is so much beauty in us and they don't tap into it, and you were sad. And I would be sad if I didn't have this area, external area, where I can give something and it falls on fertile ground. And when I see my practitioners, how they are improving, when they're telling me about their lucid dreams, when they're telling me about their astral projection, how they experience finally, how they met their relatives, how they met their mother, father, child, because everyone is existing still. Someone who died, he's still there, but in astral form. And if you are evolved enough, if you're able to control your dreams, when we are in dream, we are in the astral world. Now you can look for your relative. That's how I talk to my mother. I talk to my father. They passed away a long time ago. And I come to them, I hug them. And that's so beautiful. We humans, we are not so limited, but we are, if we think we are not. First, we need to understand we are limited like any other animal. And once you start to become human, suddenly you're going to have an access to more dimensions. But these dimensions is most important. And whoever is telling you just about dreams and after death and all kinds of consciousness, but neglecting this physical, that person is still at deep sleep. Because you have to be grounded in this physical reality. Now you are moving your hand. You are sitting in your chair. There is nice window behind you. I hear my voice. My hands is moving. I am grounded here. Now, when I go to sleep, yes, I move in the astral world. But then I come back, I wake up, wow, I turn on GPS again. Here I am, where I am mentally, where I am physically, where I am financially, and you keep evolving. And we need more people. We need more people because just when few of us, we're gonna go extinct with the rest. so we need to make more people aware of this heaven, which is really here and can express itself through us. Otherwise, we will not have enough critical mass of people, and we're gonna go extinct. So because your child, maybe he will not be enlightened, your son, in this life. So he's going to be maybe born again. You, maybe me. Maybe I will not achieve nirvana. Yes, I achieved very decent level of awareness. I'm really happy. I feel now sweetness in my mouth coming from the head chakras. This nectar, what they call in yoga. So I feel it. So I'm really blossoming. But still, I have a long way to go. So if I don't achieve the highest state, if I don't unify myself with the life itself and go beyond everything, I have to come back. And where I am going to come back if we as humans are weak, if we are not taking care of this planet? That's why we need to really focus on our human existence and to understand these animal traits, these instincts. And we have these leaders, like you know them, I don't need to mention. They are just feeding these animal in people, divisions, nationalism, religion. They don't know what they are doing to themselves because they trapped themselves at the animal state, and they're going to suffer. We have to move because of us. We have to move up. You know how you feel, and you know how you felt before you didn't achieve this state. So we don't want to remain an animal. An animal has purpose. Our instincts have purpose, but they don't serve us now to become liberated mentally and to become happy. Now, materially, we are okay. We don't need to fight each other. We have more than enough. Everyone on this planet can have more than enough. But to become happy, you have to get rid of your animal state. You have to bring in more awareness. But people have to be told. They have to be told the reality. We are animals. We have to keep evolving. But if you tell them, oh, you are chosen one, pray to Jesus, pray to Muhammad, they're going to remain animals. And they're going to fight each other because they are miserable. They are unhappy. They don't know what they are looking for is in them. So anyway, you will probably put few links from my YouTube channel. I can send you. And also this book, they can download for free. It's 500 pages. I'm talking about sexuality. I'm talking about homosexuality, transgender, because as a decently self-aware person. And I also practice sexuality. So once my education, sexual education, is translated into English, I'm going to let you know. And then if you are willing, I will come here. We're going to talk about evolutionary side of sexual energy and the reproductive side and how to balance these layers. And then people can come and join that education. So I said ITME is the code. Use this code to get a discount on my services when you go to my website. And that's it. We're going to keep practicing. And Adam, I'm happy that you are a practitioner, man. And it's visible. It's visible, really new. And that's so beautiful.
Thanks, Enes. Thank you.
Because what they say, a gram of practice is better than a ton of theory. We are practitioners, Adam. Yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing your grams with us. And yeah, I'll talk to you soon. I'll put all the links in there. And yeah, we'll continue the conversation.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
All the best, everyone, and see you next time.
See you next time. That's it. Thanks so much for hanging. Thanks for sticking around. If you like the conversation, please consider liking or subscribing. It really helps out the channel. And like Enes said, all his stuff is available. Links below. You can get the book. You can sign up for one-on-ones with him. You can go to a Sunday group. There's a code that you can put in, ITME, Inside the Mind's Eye, ITME. He'll give you some discounts. And yeah, if you have any questions for me, leave comments, send me a message. I'd be happy to continue the conversation. And I think that's it. I think that's all we got. I hope you have a most excellent rest of your day, morning, evening, or good night. And we'll see you on the next one. I do.